Dump it. Dump it again.
No, no, no!
And again.
What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So today is Tuesday. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great week so far, but my goodness, what is going on with these prices lately? Bitcoin down 5%, falling live as we speak. Ethereum another 8%. Bitcoin was hit 3% yesterday. What is going on? Well, I did say yesterday, if we fell below the $7,000 level, we did potentially risk going down to 6,500. Currently, we have not touched that level yet. In fact, having a look right here, you can see we essentially tried to get above like 7,212. We tried, we got rejected, we fell down, we went sideways. It looked like we were trying to put in like a bit of a Bart Simpson, right? Got rejected at around the $6,934 level, and currently, as I am making this video, we are still falling. So we do have a lot of things to go over today. I want to talk about the Bitcoin price. Why is it still falling? What is causing this dump? We're dumping right now, guys. Literally, look. Right now, we are actually dumping. This is nuts. So that being said, this is going to be a fun episode, but I do want to talk about Bitcoin falling now as I'm making this video currently. I also want to talk about the fact that the Fed is looking to inject $400 billion into the economy again by February of next year, and how is that going to affect Bitcoin? And one final thing I want to go over is also the futures of, not futures, but the future of crypto in general. Are any of these altcoins going to survive next year? What is the future of Bitcoin looking like as, Bitcoin's continuing to still try to dump here? So we're going to go into all that today. If that sounds good to you, despite it not quite being the greatest day for Bitcoin and crypto right now, you know what to do. Also, as usual, yes, we do give away the Ledger Nano S every Monday. I know, it's the best we could do, guys. If you're interested, drop a comment below and you are eligible. Having a look over here, past 4 hours, obviously extremely bearish. 55% on the shorts. Bitcoin is currently dumping as we speak. You could see yesterday right here when I put out my video, we were sitting right here looking like we were trying to break out of this wedge. We didn't get very far. You can see we did sort of ride on it as sort of a little bit of support, very, very small, about 30 minutes, and we dumped. And finally, we tried again, thought we were going to put in the BART, and we are currently dumping as we speak. Now, we did have a little bit of a wick up currently, so we did get down to about 6.6K, all right? So we were looking for the 6.5K level. Now, Jacob Canfield, he's been on the channel before, he says, I think we could see $5,500 personally, as it is the 78.6% Fibonacci from the swing low to the swing high, but we may see a bounce or two, obviously here and there. Now, having a look right here, this is obviously from yesterday's. It has not been updated. You could see that we actually did close below the center line right here, which does risk us potentially falling all the way down to $6,123. Now, I do think we will be stomped out by this legacy trend line. In fact, that was around 6,632, which it's not showing up here just yet. But what did we get down to? 6,677 over here on Bitstamp. So essentially that was kind of the level we were looking for. And I did say if we fell into this red zone, we could be looking for that 6.5K level. It still is possible. You could see basically all of these supports are just not holding us. Every time we fall, we dance on it for a little bit, we dump, we got to the end of this wedge, we dumped, we held up on the 6.9K level for what, couple hours, fell again, and currently Bitcoin is heading into the red zone lower. We unfortunately, guys, and I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news here, but we have fallen below the legacy trend line. This was considered to be the most important trend line in my opinion, and I think a lot of other people's opinions as well. Now, keep in mind the day is not over yet. For all I know, we could wick, down and instantly pull back up. And, if we get back up to about the 6.8K level, close above it, well, then that actually is short-term, not that bad looking for Bitcoin. We do also have the CME futures gap right here. We have not closed it yet. That gap is sitting at around $7,240. I do believe at some point Bitcoin will bounce back up to close that gap. However, the question is, how long will we stay there? I mean, we could have an instant pump up to the gap, touch it. Okay, guys, great. We closed it and continue the dump. That is a possibility because there's a lot going on in the background right now. And you can see trapped previous low, current undervalue area range low. Even Josh Ragers says that he's looking for the $6,500 level. In fact, he spoke about potential bounces to about 3 different levels, right? But remember, we are in this descending wedge. And even if we get all the way back up to like $9,000, that's still a lower high. So we really have a long way to go until this market reverses. But I just want to give a shout out to freaking Phil, man. He's been really incredibly accurate. You can see this came out on December 12th. He did say he was short. And if we actually play this out, he was looking for this target zone around the point, 7, 8, around the, $6,800 level. And if we play this forward, you can see we got a nice bounce right there in the pocket, right there at the, 0.786. And right here, he says in the level that we're at right now, looking for accumulation buys. And I'll tell you guys straight up, I am definitely accumulating in these levels. It doesn't matter to me if Bitcoin goes to 5,500. I don't care if in the short term, my portfolio loses a little bit in USD value because I know where this thing is going long term, but short term, we do have some issues, right? So first, let's talk about why Bitcoin is continuing to dump still. Also, I want to go into the fact that the Fed is still looking to inject another $400 billion into the markets by February. How is that going to affect Bitcoin? And finally, I want to end on a 2020 analysis of where this market is potentially going. Are altcoins going to die? What's going to happen to Bitcoin? That's what I want to go into today. So number one, the big elephant in the room is the Plus token scam. You probably already figured that out by looking at the logo. Obviously, we know that several of the participants in this $12 billion Ponzi are still on the loose. They have not been caught. There is a lot of Bitcoin still sitting in these wallets that the authorities have not been able to confiscate. In fact, unfortunately, if we look at Chainalysis, they say that they've sold roughly 25,000 Bitcoins already. However, this is the bad news. There's potentially another 20,000 Bitcoin that have yet to be dumped. Now, just think about that. They started dumping at the high, and they've only dumped 25,000. They have another 20,000 to go, guys. This is not the best news. Don't kill the messenger. But that being said, you could see that they do believe that somebody is helping them out using some kind of shuffling service like Wasabi Wallet or an OTC, firm that potentially is doing this for them for a fee. So hope you guys feel really good about what you're doing. Anyway, moving on, talking about the Federal Reserve Bank has now added $86.4 billion into liquidity, looking to add potentially more. As of the most recent data, we now have the Fed reported that its balance sheet has risen to $4.1 trillion from $3.8 trillion in September. Monday's operations came on a day when the market is likely to face pressure due to a tax payment and Treasury debt auction settlement date. Now, what does this mean for Bitcoin? Well, we do know that they are pumping hundreds of billions of dollars into the market. They've basically gone out of fashion for over the past decade, right? The Fed used them for the first time since 2008, but on Thursday, they announced it was pumping more cash into the market. So what happens essentially when 400 billion gets pumped into the, markets? Well, according to one person responding, they say opt out of this crap and buy Bitcoin. But you can see, like Alex Kruger says, Bitcoin does not respond to monetary policy. Bitcoin is an asset driven almost exclusively by endogenous factors and is thus not impacted by the general market, aka no systemic risk. For example, Nick Carter, a partner at Castle Island Ventures, says, looking at the historical relationship, I don't see why Bitcoin would start to exhibit a correlation to Fed policy when it hasn't in the past. And actually, that's what's been so attractive to investors about Bitcoin is its non-correlated asymmetric approach to essentially everything, right? Bitcoin doesn't care what the markets are doing. Now, if you ask Tom Lee, he says it's very correlated to things like the S&P 500, but zooming out, just remember that Warren Buffett still thinks Bitcoin is rat poison, and if you have a look at rat poison all the way up there, well, guys, you're still very early. We still have a very long way to go, and if you're thinking about, throwing in the towel right now, well, sorry to see you go, guys, but I'm not going anywhere. By the way, rat poison 30 million, a little bit higher than that. I think this chart is a little bit outdated, but it does serve its point. However, what can we expect moving forward for 2020? What is going to happen to these altcoins? Are we going to have an altcoin apocalypse, a purge? Is Bitcoin going to die? What is going to happen? Well, essentially, you do see that we had Ryan Selkis. They basically had this crypto thesis for 2020 Messari research report. Very, very long, very, very long if you guys are interested in looking into it, but essentially they broke it down. And basically, they say if we want to be better, this time around, the token teams, they must start disclosing insider sales, exchanges, clean up your wash trades, wallets, learn how to integrate with tax software systems and help your customers minimize their liabilities and pay only to the Caesar that which is actually Caesar's. We definitely need to clean this space up between the scams, the manipulation. It's absolutely incredible. It's running rampant, and so many people, unfortunately, are losing money because of poor decisions on part of exchanges and teams. And I don't have to go into everything today. I think you guys know, but essentially he says he is still in support of the narrative seeing Bitcoin as the central a component for multiple tasks ranging from hyper-Bitcoinization to a role as, of course, digital gold. Now, he is critical of XRP, calling it a project that is too big to jail. Not my words, his, but he does say that in 2020, Bitcoin will lead again as the best performing asset, while altcoins will only follow if Bitcoin price remains stable. Smaller coins and tokens will continue to dump into oblivion, while other underwhelming trends will include tokenized securities, which still lag behind. So what is your opinion? Do you think altcoins are going to die? Do you think there'll be a handful of them that'll perform well? Will Bitcoin still lead the way? Will Bitcoin be dethroned by another cryptocurrency? What do you think moving forward, guys? But if you're interested, I will drop this below if you want to read through this report. It's pretty damn long. But yeah, I will drop that below if you're interested. 71 pages. But here's the thing. Speaking about crypto, speaking about altcoins, now Ethereum, the number two altcoin, right? Or number one altcoin, technically, right? Number two crypto. But that being said, Coinfloor, the UK's longest running cryptocurrency exchange, is actually planning to delist Ethereum next month, citing an unclear future of hard forks and the need, for technical support. You can see the company is also going to delist Bitcoin Cash. Starting January 3rd, they will support only Bitcoin. Conveniently, January 3rd is the birth of Bitcoin. It's also Proof of Keys Day. Get your coins off the exchange, people. But that being said, are we going to see a lot more exchange taking these, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, right? Would you call those shitcoins? Some people would, but could we see this as something in the future? Could we see exchanges delisting more and more and more altcoins, potentially moving into just focusing on Bitcoin trading possibly? It's a possibility, right? You could see that their decision suggests that nurturing a team with the specific expertise to follow the technical trials and tribulations of coins like Ethereum might be too expensive for smaller crypto players, particularly if this constitutes only a small part of their trading volume. So, you've seen exchanges, for example, like even Dudex coming out, they decided to not have anything else to trade for futures, right? Like obviously Bybit, they have Ethereum and EOS and XRP, but these newer players, they're only listing Bitcoin, saying we don't even want to touch these other guys. Look at what happened with the, margin trading incident with, Matic, right? That's crazy, guys. So obviously there is a change. We do need this space to be cleaned up. And, here's another coin. And guys, I'm not picking on any coins in particular. Listen, I actually had the team from Bolt reach out to me to do a potential sponsored thing. It really fell through. They were a very difficult team to work with. But anyway, that being said, that never happened. But the altcoin known as Bolt has apparently come under fire recently for some skeletons in their closet for allegedly faking the count on their sports app. So David Holt pointed out that the Bolt project had a complicated past, to say the least. It began as a rebrand of a failed company called Sickwick. The company went under in 2016 due to being able to back up its financial statements after an audit. Basically, they say Bolt is essentially Sickwick, a mobile entertainment service provider, but now they just essentially have added a token. The project claims to have 1 million active users at first glance. The app view, you can see right here, shows a lot of people. However, you can see this guy, BCC Ponzi, finds that the view count numbers are apparently completely random. So yeah, the Bolt team, they basically say it's a bug. However, considering that it's a core feature of the app and has been ongoing for about 5 months now, this is somewhat hard to believe. And, I don't, like I said, not picking on Bolt, guys, but having a look. Look, it's performing essentially like every other, altcoin. Yes, it has sprung up a little bit in Bitcoin value, but essentially, guys, the altcoins, right? They come out from the IEOs, boom, dump, they have their little exit pump, and that's essentially it. And like I said, I'm not picking on Bolt, guys. I am just talking about the space in general. We need to clean it up. For example, 2 Canadian men who were defrauded a Bitcoin investor out of $140,000 by impersonating HitBTC. First of all, who is trading on HitBTC? My God, I hate that exchange. Worst exchange, guys. Anyway, posing as support service for HitBTC, the pair convinced a user, an unnamed 63-year-old woman who had a whopping 23 Bitcoin. Wow, a 63-year-old woman with 23 Bitcoin. So I guess it's not just for millennials, but that being said, guys, I do agree. We do need to clean up this space. It is definitely something going into 2020. We don't need altcoins for everything. Not everything needs to be on the blockchain. These exchanges like Binance and FTX, they should not be offering these margin trading on shitcoin indexes. It's just going to hurt people. It's going to hurt the space in the long run, but that's essentially it for me. Moving forward, that's how I feel, guys. Having a look right here, somebody on Reddit was talking about all these different projects. None of these are the actual Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV, Bitcoin Diamond, Bitcoin Gold. it's just ripoffs, guys. It's just projects forks to take your money. We all know what the real Bitcoin is. It's the #1 crypto asset at the top. And honestly, guys, this has nothing to do with it, but you have to read this Reddit post about Richard Hart. I don't know who wrote this. I don't know if it's a joke or not, but it's essentially why this person loves Richard Hart. It's really pretty funny. Never saw Richard Hart before making Hex videos. Now I attempt to see as much as I can. He has changed and improved. He has changed the lexicon. But anyway, guys, lots of stuff going on with Hex. We've gone over that plenty of times on the channel. How's Bitcoin doing? How's Bitcoin doing? Stabilizing around 6,700 currently? Maybe for like a day or two. Okay, we'll see. That being said, guys, we do know what's going to happen eventually in the future. We do still have potential Plus tokens that could still get, or plus the Bitcoin from the Plus token that could get dumped on the market. Am I freaking out? Do I look like I'm freaking out, guys? I mean, obviously, I'm not happy to see Bitcoin at these prices, but also it's a better opportunity to accumulate because, you know, once these prices are gone, they're gone forever. And then once Bitcoin's back to 10, 20, everyone's going to be like, damn it, I wish I bought more at 6,000. You know, that's how it goes every single time. That being said, once again, thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I do this every single day. If the charts are freaking you out, if Bitcoin's getting you down, you know, put the phone down, put the chart down, stop trading. You know, you don't have to dollar cost average every day. You don't have to trade every day. In fact, you don't even have to watch these videos every day. I'll be here, but if you take a break, I won't hold it to you, okay? That being said, thank you so much for coming back. I freaking love you. Remember that. My name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.